Today I fucked up by accidentally submitting a suicide note as my essay for English class. So this happened yesterday, and I've yet to see what the results of my stupidity are. It is important to know that I was suicidal a year or so ago. I still have depression and anxiety though. Also, this is a high school, and my school takes mental health very seriously. So for my English class, I required to write an essay responding to a prompt on the list of prompts my teacher gave me. I decided to do the 3 stages of life one, but instead of the classic birth, life, and death stages, I made the stages of my life: bliss, pain, unknown. For bliss I wrote about my childhood and how nice it was to be a little kid. For pain, I write about how depressed I got during high school and how I wake up every day and think about how badly I want to die. Then for unknown, I wrote about how peaceful everything would probably be after I die. I said I was looking forward to my death too. Once I finished, I submitted it online without even reading through the whole thing once because I was right up against the deadline for submission. So fast forward to me, in my English class, about to read this essay out loud in front of a few of my classmates because we were supposed to peer review each other's essays. I read mine, and realized that it low-key sounds like a suicide note. The people in my peer review group were shocked, and they tried to talk me out of killing myself. I never said I would kill myself, and I have no intention of doing so, but I did say in the essay that I was looking forward to dying, and I guess that made them think I'm a kill myself. So now I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, shit, I just read a suicide note to my classmates. Please don't tell anyone, please don't tell anyone, please don't tell anyone. So now I'm pretty sure that my teacher's gonna read my essay and tell somebody about my mental health, or even worse, she might tell my parents. Too long didn't read, I accidentally wrote a suicide note and turned it in for my English essay assignment, and I had to read it out loud in front of a few of my classmates. Edit, y'all, thanks for all the support, I really appreciate it. I'm at school right now, but when I get home I'll read all your comments. Edit 2, again, thanks for y'all's support, it means a lot to me. Also, thank you to those who showed me that Long Beach Griffey video that really made me smile a little bit. If anything interesting happens regarding this story, I'll be sure to update y'all. Update, nothing interesting happened. My teacher handed the assignment back and she wrote just a generic hang in there, it gets better message. I know what you mean. I wrote short stories for fun in high school, and once for my creative writing assignment I was against a deadline, so I just submitted one I had on hand. This was only a couple years after Columbine, and my short story was the perspective of a school shooting victim hiding and trying not to die. I got a nice little chat with the teacher who actually really liked the story. You'll be fine, I am sure. I wrote one from the perspective of the shooter. Never had a thought remotely close to actually doing anything like that, I've never even shot a gun. But, my English teacher was a fan of my writing and I was always trying to impress with my stories, and this one got detailed and in-depth on emotions that lead up to the shooting. He pulled me into the principal's office, had a meeting with my parents. I had to convince everyone I was just good at writing stories and it came from absolutely no real-life experience. It was a disaster. I wrote a poem about suicide in my high school English class. The assignment was to build a portfolio of 9 existing poems with a theme, then write one of your own that fills a void left in that theme. I chose death. None of the poems talked about suicide. So I wrote a poem about suicide. What happened? The teacher notified the police and they came and took me out of class to interview me, and then I had to go to therapy for a while. Damn assignment. Honestly, this may be a good thing, as you may be given access to help you weren't offered before. Being 26 ND in a mental health clinic, I sure as hell wish someone noticed and cared enough in high school so I could have moved on with my life much sooner. I think it shines a light about how much you actually think about death. Maybe this was a good thing after all. Hey bud, life is gonna get better soon, right? Stop thinking too much about death. All good wishes, bud. Today I fucked up, always disconnect Bluetooth. So yesterday the alternator on my car died. I went and picked up a new one today that I'm going to install this weekend. No biggie, but it meant I had to borrow my dad's truck to go to work today. Now my dad has a newer pickup with a Bluetooth radio, so I cinched my phone up, put on some music and went to work. Later, once I went home, I decided to have some me time and watch some special videos. Around the fourth video, when I was really getting into it, the audio suddenly cut off. Puzzled, it took me a few seconds to realize the horror of what had happened. My dad turned his truck on to go check the mail and was greeted with a full volume, near orgasm, porn moan when he did. When he got home, I was standing in the kitchen and awkwardly made eye contact with him and died a little inside. All he said was, "What the fuck, son?" TL doctor, I borrowed my dad's truck and cinched my phone to it. Went home and watched porn, and my dad was greeted with the sound of a moaning porn star when he started his truck. Edit, words. Why have there been so many Bluetooth porn mishaps in the last 2 weeks? WTF. Deleted. I have done something like this. I was listening to music in the living room with a Bluetooth speaker. Went to bed. Next morning decided to have some me time. Pull up a video and don't hear any sound for about 5 seconds, then I hear laughing coming from the living room. My roommate and his GF were watching TV in the living room. I instantly made the connection that the porn audio was coming out my Bluetooth speaker and exited the video. I didn't have me time knowing they knew what I was up to. I just came out and told them I'm man enough to say that's my bad. We had a good laugh. Took it like a champ, kudos to you. He probably died a little inside too. From the look on his face, I'm 100% sure he did. If it makes you feel any better, I've had multiple customers' cars come in with porn titles / links displayed in the screen of their BMW. I work at a BMW dealership, the latest one involved tentacles lol. They must have been confused over the BMW slogan, designed for driving pleasure. I did this a few Christmases ago. My speaker was on the kitchen table where my wife, kids, and in-laws were. I was still in bed and decided to rub one out before joining everyone else. I'm used to watching porn on mute, so the silence didn't seem off to me. Then I heard what sounded like porn coming from the kitchen. I paused my movie and the noise stopped. I hit play and it started back up again. My wife comes down the hall and I press pause and pretend to be sleeping. She made it sound like my Bluetooth speaker was picking up the neighbor's house by accident. Your wife's a hell of a bro. Today I fucked up by letting my husband show me something interesting. This just happened. I'm still trying to process. And to not pee my pants. My husband went outside to put out the trash. Since it's midnight, he wore a headlamp. He comes back inside looking a little pale, but also like he found something really cool. Turns out he read somewhere on Reddit that you can see a spider's eye shine in the grass. He told me about it, and said it was interesting. Now here's the fuck up. I asked him to show me. I should probably mention that I have arachnophobia. Like legit pee my pants, cry, throw my kids out of my way while I run for my life. Arachnophobia. I thought I could handle it. I thought it would be one sparkly reflection. I thought it would be okay cause I wouldn't actually see a spider. I was wrong. So very wrong. There had to be hundreds of spider eyes reflecting back at me. I'm not sure how I made it back in the house, but I was told screaming was involved. Now I'm terrified of leaving my house. Too long didn't read. Spiders. Arachnophobia. Never leaving my house again. Edited to add. Hockey wow Batman. Now I know what RIP my inbox means. I never thought this post would get any views. So, 1. Thank you everyone for the advice on getting therapy. I will definitely follow up on it. I do not want to live this way. 2. Phobia is an irrational fear. If I could grow the fuck up and get over it and stop being such a baby and all the other unhelpful comments that were sent to me, believe me I would. Who wants to be scared of a thing that is teeny tiny compared to you? 3. Also for the people in number 2. Fuck you. What are the chances half of them were dew drops? Nope, the few drops were white where these dudes were green/yellow/ multicolored. If it helps, they were always there. Years, decades of life moving through a world filled with tiny creatures you never see, never even know about. Not just spiders, they aren't even that populous compared to the trillions on trillions of small insects. And in all that time, you never got bitten. You never had any of those spiders touch you, bother you, or even get close enough to scare you. Instead, they were out there keeping any of a dozen types of harmful creatures away from you by eating them. What you saw wasn't an invading army of arachnids. It was your own personal security team helping keep invading hordes of insects from swarming you in wave after wave of itchy irritation. Yeah, spiders look scary. And anything small enough to crawl on a person is sure to raise goosebumps. But they really are r/spiderbro. You. My rational brain loves you right now. While I get what you're saying, I can't help the visceral reaction spiders give me. And to think they are out there, waiting, watching. Yup. Never going outside again. I can pinpoint to the day when my fear began. I ended up in the hospital for almost a month due to a spider bite when I was like 6 or 7 years old. I wish I could control it, and make it stop. Look on the bright side. You solved your arachnophobia problem. With agoraphobia. Edit, trigger warning, contains material unsuitable for those with arachnophobia/edit. It's a good thing phobias are irrational. I mean, as if a house could keep something as small as spiders out. Tiny cracks in the windows, every single vent in the building, underneath the bottom edge of doors, through the mail slot. Staying indoors isn't going to stop the spiders. Do you know how small baby spiders can be? Small enough to drift in the wind like tiny 8-legged spores. Easily small enough to climb through the mechanisms in a keyhole. The spiders are only outside because they don't want to come inside. Yet. E.S. Thanks for making your comment. I didn't want mine to be a top-level reply which would end up in ops inbox. I'm from the Midwest and my wife, kids, and I lived in South Texas for a while a few years back. Anyway, I went outside to do something and put a headlamp on. I looked around and was like, WTF, there are tiny sparkles everywhere in the grass. I called her out to look at it. We're like, well, that's like a million little sparkles. WTF is this Texas grass got going on? Then I googled it, and then told my wife that it's actually all spiders. She didn't go in the grass for a while. Hey honey, remember when we went outside in the dead of night, and were surrounded by millions of mysterious yet magical sparkling lights? Yeah, turns out there's really just spiders everywhere. I used to have a fuzzy little jumping spider that lived behind my computer monitor at work in my old, shitty office. He was cool because he ate the annoying insects that found their way into the office. Sometimes we would play. I'd move my finger around him and he'd jump around. He never jumped on me, so I'm pretty sure he was having a good time.